And this is us at DreamHack. So we had a booth, and for those of you who came by, thank you so much. It meant a lot. You probably got some free stuff like this shirt, uh, and some water bottles and whatnot. It was a great time. We had a CRT set up with Melee and this like prize wheel. Also, Counter Strike was there. Oh, hey, that's me. Uh, there's Melee. It was so weird. Like we wanted to put several game systems here, but it didn't end up working out. So we just had Melee. Like I brought my CRT, and like it was just this weird little niche nook for Smash players to come over and not be crowded around at a friendly setup, right? Because the Smash setup at DreamHack is always usually so packed, and there's like nowhere to move. But this was like a private little nook. We had our employee Sean kick everyone's butt who came up to try to who tried to play. Um, this is a cosplay show, and yeah. Oh, that's Luke, repping GSU Esports. Oh yeah, we ended up going to the Trap House, I guess it's called. It's like a museum for trap music, which is a huge, genre of music started here in Atlanta. Um, what's up, Minnie? So yeah, it went really well. Here's some of the actual photos that a professional took. This was the first day, and like again, it was so amazing getting all of these super influential people in esports together and watching them express themselves so passionately about where the scene needs to start moving and how Axis Replay is going to be a huge pivot point in the esports world. Um, this is Ali, our CEO. We had the Momocon guys come and do a little setup there. It was nice. That's Sean. Todd himself, the man, the myth, the legend. Super awesome guy. That's M. Cole, CEO of Rise Ventures, who helped us put on the whole event. Great guy, great company. Not much else to say other than he's awesome. Um, oh, that's me. Yeah, it was just great. If you guys have any questions about Esports Week Atlanta or Esports Week itself, feel free to post them because it's not just going to be Atlanta. Spoiler alert. Uh, I don't know if I'm allowed to say where we're going next, but things are a happening. So yeah, that's here, let's see if we got. Aw, it's a great picture. Wow, that's great. I need that. I need to download that. That's a great picture. Let's see. Yo, what's up, Nate? Hashtag Godfather of Gaming. Correct. Godfather of Gaming. HRX was honestly awesome. Um, I don't know. DreamHack itself was just so fun. I think it was the best DreamHack in Atlanta. Obviously, they've only been here for 2 years, but it topped last year easily. The only issue was the Falcons game on Sunday, and it kind of messed with parking. But other than that, like the booth was great. Here, let me bring up some pictures of the booth again. The booth, like, I don't have a better shot, but there's another table on the left. We were right next to the LG setup, and we had so many people come and ask us what's going on with Axis Replay. If you guys don't know, this just reminded me. January or December 31st, New Year's Eve, uh, is supposed to be our launch day. We're having a party, supposedly. And I say all this with a grain of salt, or take it with a grain of salt, because we're having some difficulties with the space itself right now. Just prolongings, really, not difficulties, prolongings. But the plan is to open December 31st, New Year's Eve, have an awesome gaming esports party. Maybe a couple tournaments here and there that night. You know, it's gonna be great. And our wristbands, if you came up to the booth and got a wristband, it's a free drink and I think free admission as well for the party. So it's gonna be pretty cool. Um, so yeah, I guess I'll just start. If you guys are new to Access Replay, just in case, people are watching the VODs back and stuff, we are LAN Center opening up in Atlanta at the end of this year, so it's coming up quick. And we have a functioning, bar slash lounge area, um, 10 private rooms for you to, co-work, uh, be isolated in an esports environment and just game, or, face off head to head against someone else in those private rooms. But the best part to me, in my opinion, and I'm super biased, is the tournament setup we're going to have, which is a huge stage with enough room to fit, 6 players on either side, lights above it, um, a huge sound system, caster booth, broadcasting setup, and we're going to be able to run tournaments in house for the people who come and use our venue. So what this means, and what I'm really excited about, is not only can you come and hang out with with fellow gamers and esports enthusiasts, but you can participate in tournaments that aren't going to look like crappy, you know, uh, LAN party home, done in your home tournaments. Like, you're not gonna have a crappy mic with shitty frame rate or whatever on the game. You're gonna have a professional broadcast setup that can make your friendly tournaments all of a sudden that much more legit. You can share them with everyone you uh, want to see that, or you can participate in the broadcast yourself as a caster or whatever. It just depends what you want to do and how far you're willing to go to help it become a thing. Um, because we're trying to encourage the esports scene around here. So if you're a caster or a player or an analyst, um, or an interviewer, um, you know, hit us up, come by, swing by. You might find yourself on stage for an Access Replay tournament. So yeah, if you guys don't have any questions, then I guess I'll just bring on Kristen, who can talk a little about, I guess, let's pick a topic. Let's not leave it so open-ended. That's going to be hard to just start talking about. Let's see here. Access Replay. I'm going to have her talk about what the day-to-day functionality is going to be like in the venue itself, and what people can expect when they just walk in with their pass after after you're a member and you just walk in on a random day, what can they expect? So I'm going to go ahead and bring her in right now. Hello? Hello? Oh,
Hey, how are you?
hey. So,
Hey.
can you introduce yourself to the wonderful viewers on Twitch?
Yeah, my actual position while I am acting as our HR is actually our operations manager. And until we get a little bit more staffed, there's not really a need for a separate department right away. So operations manager, and then Josh is going to be our GM. So I'll be working with him closely as far as day-to-day stuff goes.
So, I don't know if you heard on the stream, but what can people expect as our operations manager? You would definitely know this the best. What can people expect? I guess in general, when they walk into the venue on a random day, we're already open, nothing special going on. What are they able to do?
Well, with the full setup, we'll have the console set up, the staging, the co-working space, the private rooms. So like regular day to day, nothing special going on, you can expect to come in and do, a day pass or sign up to become more permanent with us as far as like a monthly pass goes, and use the PCs to play whatever game to your heart's content. And our team will be there to help facilitate that in, getting them to the right station, getting them set up if they're uncomfortable, using like GG Leap, or, say somebody you've got, as random as this sounds, you've got somebody who's not a gamer and wants to come in and just use the computers but is uncomfortable using like Battle.net or Steam or Origin or whatever their platform is. So our team needs to be or will be well versed in getting people logged in and set up to play whatever game they want to play. And again, whether it's on PC or it's going to be console like PS4, Xbox One, that kind of thing. And then, like I said, we'll have like private rooms set up to do, private gaming if that's what's needed or streaming. We kind of hope to have something like that as well. And then just the other side of the building, we'll have that co-working space, that space without consoles or computers where people can come in with their laptops and, maybe they just need to get out of the office and get a different view on things while they're working.
So, say I'm pretty new to the esports scene, but I want to pursue a particular avenue within the ecosystem, such as, let's say casting, okay? And I have
Mhm.
no idea where to start. If I were to walk in to the venue and purchase myself a membership, expecting something, what should I expect as far as being able to meet people who are kind of like me and or people who could mentor me?
Well, so actually, while we have yourself on the staff, one of our other teammates, he's kind of branching out into that same scene of doing like casting, and actually, a few of our team members have done shoutcasting, broadcasting, or stream on Twitch now, even. So, if we couldn't hook them up with somebody who is a gamer there, we have staff members there who could kind of walk them through, here's what you need to be looking at doing. And then as far as like actual equipment, our IT director is well versed in, if you want to do streaming, here's maybe what you need to look at type stuff. Does that answer your question, I hope?
Absolutely. Obviously, I already know all this, but I'm trying to
Right.
provoke some other questions. Like this is, I just I can never find a place to start when it comes to trying to explain why this is going to be so revolutionary. And it's just because it can become the hub for anyone wanting to break into the scene or just learn about it or just have fun, right? It's everything.
Right. Well, so here I'll give you at DreamHack 2 weeks ago, somebody asked something similar, like why is this something that may be needed or that may be wanted here, or not just here but anywhere. And Josh had a really good way of phrasing it. It was he was talking to this particular person. He's like, say you're playing your game with your teammates, your friends, and you're all in your respective homes, whatever, and something awesome happens. And if you guys were together playing and that awesome thing happened, then you're going to get pumped up. You're going to have that awesome energy, like that energy that you felt at DreamHack. Just everybody was super stoked to be there. And, like it is a different type of feeling, and you get a better experience when you're playing video games with people close at hand versus playing with them, in your own homes. And my way of viewing it is that, we're social creatures, gamers particularly. It's when you're playing video games, it's not just to play the video game, it's to have that interaction with your friends or people who are like-minded. Um, and it's easier to do that when you have a place to congregate.
It's also much more rewarding to compete and or just casually play a video game when you're sitting right across from the people you're beating. Uh, I can tell you from firsthand experience, even when you lose, even when it's like not as intense as you want it to be, it is way more rewarding and definitely more of a rich experience than just sitting where I am at my house, usually playing video games, like every day. It's something that is honestly pretty addicting. That I go to every LAN I can with my team to play Counter Strike just because like it's magical. It's fuel. It's literally fuel for me to keep getting better, or to keep playing. And I think this would provide a constant land environment that people would definitely want to be a part of permanently, in my opinion. Um,
Oh yeah.
I'm certainly gonna move my setup here and just live here, basically. That's what everyone at DreamHack was saying. They're like, so can we purchase bedrooms in there? Like, because I kind of want to just live there. Just like, I feel you, man, but no bedrooms as of yet. Maybe VR bedrooms.
Yeah, maybe in the second site, right? We'll build residential space.
So speaking of a second site, are we disclosing that information as of where?
Um, so second site, I don't know yet. I know that they are looking at June 2019 to do the full bar and restaurant build out. So we'll have that. Before that, it'll just be, grab and go type stuff and prepackaged snacks. And, we are working on a sponsorship with certain people
Right.
to get that done. And then as far as like expanding, I think the only place that I know for sure that we started looking is in Florida for the next expansion.
Interesting. If we were to go to Florida, that's like the only other place in the Southeast where fighting games or Melee specifically is as big. And like so far, Melee fans love us because like they're like we have no venue, like tournament scene is dying, like we don't know what to do.
Yeah,
And I'm just like this is perfect for it.
yeah. Actually, at DreamHack, I was talking to two gentlemen. I forget which college they said they meant that they were going to, but one of them was, the presidents of their esport team, and he was like, "We are looking for a place like this in Florida." He's like, "If we could help you guys find, a location, could you come to us?" So there are
Absolutely.
people who are passionate about this and are ready for us to already be in their state. So
And what I love about expanding this in multiple different areas of the country is giving the people who feel like they're left out of the scene or stranded when it comes to breaking ground with their skill set in the ecosystem, it gives them a, a mecca almost, a place to just guaranteed go to get better at whatever you're trying to do or learn or teach someone else who's trying to learn from you. I feel like it's nothing but healthy for literally everyone involved, whether it's a professional skill set you're trying to acquire or just a good time. um I don't know, I really view this as some sort of Valhalla that gamers will flock to all across the country. They're like, "Oh, where's the nearest access replay? We gotta go."
oh yeah, I'm ready for that. I'm excited about this.
Mm.
So
So, what is one feature? Can you think of anything that I've left out um, that we should maybe talk about? Um,
um other than so you've mentioned the staging and like tournament setup. Um, I've mentioned the PCs, and of course, these will be well built out machines that our IT director is going to get together for us. And say someone who is maybe playing at home on subpar machinery, they can come and experience what it should how it should be experienced on a machine that can handle it. Um, the private rooms for private gaming, whether it's yourself or or a bunch of people. And that I think that's the other thing we kind of are hoping to have those private rooms set up to do like boot camp type things. So kind of like what Skillshot does with their soundproof rooms and the 4, 5, 6 seating, um, so that they can have training space. But and you saw they only had so many spaces, and they were mentioning that they run out of space when these players come to practice for these tournaments like HRX, DreamHack, um, and any other tournament event. But Smite is one of the bigger ones that I've followed throughout the years, and I know that when the players come, when these teams come, they spend a lot of time in their hotel rooms or wherever they're staying at the time, and they don't always make it out to Skillshot to have that training time. So they end up renting conference rooms or whatever space they can get in the hotels that they're staying at. And where we're located is it's right next to the apartments being built up. It's next to the apartments that are already there, and they're looking at doing like Airbnb on some of these rooms. So putting the teams up close to where we are, and they, within walking distance, so they can come down and have their training time. And they, these teams spend pretty much all day either playing for fun or just training to get better. I mean, this is their job.
Absolutely. And I know, especially being next to E-League, constantly flying in teams, players who need to be practicing at all times. It would be so much more inviting as a city if they knew there was a place they could stream their practice, review VODs, practice with other teams, maybe scrim at night or whatever.
Hmm.
I just think no other location can provide such a thing at a professional level that is always there. Like it's not going to go away. It's not some internet cafe you gotta have a 5 megabit download Wi-Fi connection to try and watch your VOD from the last game, right? Like you can just go to your Airbnb, walk downstairs with your team, and be in the practice room that you're used to at your gaming house if you have one, or whatever you use. I mean, and for some professionals, this is an upgrade, a huge upgrade for what they're used to when it comes to the team environment and analysis and whatnot. Um, so, pretty exciting stuff. Um, let's see. Nate says, "Yeah, I was talking to a pro team. They were flying their teams to Texas to get ready, then flying down to Georgia for high res competitions." So, yeah, high res. Although it's in Alpharetta, it's 20 minutes north of where Axis would be with no traffic. That's generous. Um, you know, if they were to stay in Atlanta for the times they didn't have to be on set at Skillshot, they wouldn't be wasting their time. They wouldn't be sitting there on their laptops in their hotel rooms being anxious about their match. They can practice and work on what they need to do. Um, so, shifting the conversation a little bit, since we only have about 15 minutes left, um, let's talk a bit about Esports Week Atlanta and what what type of impact you think it could have had or will have on the esports scene in Atlanta. So I'd just like to hear your thoughts about it.
Well, so I got to actually talk to a few of our guests and figure out, what they do and what they were looking to get out of their visit with us. And, a couple of the guys were music producers or DJs themselves, and, they're trying to figure out how they can get their music involved in esports. Like, how can they get over that bridge and make that connection? Um, and I don't know if you stayed on Friday, but Friday evening, one of our guys actually performed on set or on stage. He was the opener act,
Echo
Echo Breaker.
Breaker. Yep.
Yes, and he did such a great job. But I mean, and it's events like that. It's not that your music has to be in any of the games that anybody plays, but like, that's one of the other things that Access Replay is looking at doing is, when we do an event or tournament, there's still going to need to be music in between matches and that kind of thing. And I know that Ali actually looked into bringing Echo Breaker back out for a couple of things to DJ during those times. So there's a way to be involved with the music, or one of the guys, Tommy Knapp, who's out of Florida, he was running small camps out of his home for his son and his son's friends to do Fortnite, to give them a safe place to play video games and for the parents to be involved and know what's going on and, know that they're not, I don't know how to say it, like, playing video games unsafely, if that makes sense.
Right. Uh,
As if, uh, so, so he's looking at doing a similar thing, having a space where, he can bring his son and their friends and, bring his training camp and them have a space to play that's not in his home. So that, Access Replay going into Florida, he was really excited about that. And I think he's looking to, use the space once we get there.
right. I was thinking about that the other day, and all of a sudden, a a position one could have in the future would be a Counter-Strike teacher or a League of Legends teacher or a mentor or whatever, a coach who's not a part of a team but a individual who helps train younger people to have healthy gaming habits, practice correctly, not not zone out and waste their time or whatever. Do the hard practice, the stuff that would make you a competitor, and I think that's wonderful. I think that's something the world has yet to facilitate.
Right. And I think that's actually what Tommy is doing with his son, is teaching them, because it's like any other sport. Most people don't see video games or esports as a sport, but I mean, it's not any different than watching somebody play golf or tennis, you know?
Yeah, I'd say it's way harder mentally than either of those sports, but that's just me. And it depends on the
Right.
game. If you're playing competitive Pong, of course, that's not too hard. But yeah, there's a lot of habits one can easily fall into when it comes to gaming that will overall negatively affect you as a player, sometimes as an individual overall, just because you get into the habit of thinking you're improving your performance, but in reality, you're just developing worse habits because you're not noticing them as much. I've had that happen to many of my friends, my teammates, as well as me, and it takes a long time to get out of those habits. But if someone were to enlist in some program that had someone who's been through that stuff, be able to teach them what to do, what not to do, and just how to have fun while at the same time being competitive, I think it'd be super healthy for the outlook esports has right now from parents, because I think some parents can either view it as toxic or something their kids would waste their time doing because there's no end game, like it's not really a success story in their minds when it comes to esports. And this would help reverse the stigma, in my opinion. Nothing better than Access, or there would be nothing better than Access Replay to help reverse the stigma than parents coming in, and seeing their kids participate in esports. Not just, oh, I'm chilling out with my friend playing Fortnite today. I don't feel like doing anything. It's not that. It is the competition that they need to see, how much energy is behind it, how much passion, and what the industry looks like from the inside.
Absolutely.
Um, so speaking of the industry, back to Esports Week Atlanta. Um, I know I forgot some names, and I don't know if you remember any other people besides Todd Harris, like Echo Breaker and all of them. Uh, but maybe some companies. Oh, Red Hook or Red Rook. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Obviously Rise, GG Launch, DreamHack. We had Justin from DreamHack there. Um, let's see, who am I forgetting? Oh, Georgia Game Development Association.
Mhm. Mhm. Um, I think, well, and then INAP.
Hmm.
Um, we weren't, because our group was so large, we weren't able to tour their facility, but Carlos did an awesome job of, anybody who was interested, they could reach out to their staff and they'd arrange a tour. But they did a great presentation, and they actually partner up with Hi-Res and Skillshot to provide services for them. So that they did an awesome presentation as well, and they actually stopped by the booth and said hello, asked how things were going, and um, but INAP was one, Hi-Res, Skillshot, Church Game Developers. I think we got a good majority.
Yeah. There were even some non-esports related people, traditionally not related to esports, that I found super incredible to be there. Like who's the football player? Was it the cornerback for the Philadelphia Eagles?
Oh
I
gosh,
heard that.
I'm not I don't know. I do know that at the dinner we had the group of gentlemen come in, and they were I think were they TI's people
Yeah,
to come and check out and see if this was something that they were interested in, um, you know, if this was something up his alley. So that was cool.
yeah. Super great hodgepodge of people to just
Yes.
yeah, to help push the idea of hands-on esports in Atlanta forward. Um, but So I guess since we're not getting many questions, I'm gonna go ahead and make the VOD a little easier to watch and cut it a bit short. So thank you, Kristen, for your time. Um, if you have anything else to say, now is the time to do it.
I don't really have anything other than, thanks for having me on. I'm glad I could talk a little bit about Access Replay. It's something that we're all passionate about. Everybody on our staff, they're all gamers. It's not, we're not pulling people from off the street, people who don't understand the industry. So we're all passionate about it and putting everything we've got into this. So
Great. Well, thank you so much, Kristen, for joining us, and thank you for everyone on stream and in chat for joining us as well. We will see you in a couple weeks with another Q&A, but until then, have a good night and keep